Boss Cowboy, Tyler Schmidt. Tyler Schmidt, number one draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys. What say you?
I'm gonna start here. Looking at this, okay.
All right.
So the most important thing the reason why I want to start here is because this is confirmation, and I posted this before the draft, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is not hindsight. This is foresight. He was
Mm-hmm.
fit on my tackle list in my book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we going by what I thought, and then how is this even far off then from the Cowboys, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
draft order was pretty much just like what I put in my order. And we still talking about Tyler to answer your question, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Yep.
started like that, it's were they really that far off, and were they in a position to where they had to do what they had to do? You know, if we kind of start the context off right there, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's clear on my board, it's undeniable. I had the man top five,
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then when you also look at him and what I said in the Boss Cowboy Guide, I said he doesn't seem like the prototypical left tackle. His arms don't appear long, even though they are, and he doesn't appear tall. Yet Smith is very steady and quick, redirects very well, and has good push. Now, remember, I wrote the book before I ever thought we was gonna draft this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is a real assessment, not knowing that this guy was gonna ever be our guy. So when
Mm-hmm.
we talk about the Boss Cowboy God, I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, I don't put people in there that I don't think are assets for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm.
Okay? And so this is all foresight stuff. So this is not hindsight. I didn't come up with this when we drafted him. This is what I was saying before we drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a lot of overreaction because most of the reactions to, in my opinion, OC is negative.
Mm. Yeah. You got people that, think that he is a guy that was a reach and a guy that shouldn't have been drafted where he was drafted, and that you could have got him later. But I really don't think so. As I go back and I think about it, I had him in my top five. It's not tremendous quality in terms of tackle, starting quality, in my opinion, once you get out of the top seven tackles. So I thought he was one of those guys athletically and physically that could do it. We can get more into that in a second. But I don't really see it as a tremendous reach. I see it as they went up and they got a guy that was probably a projected second round pick. They got him at the bottom of the first, which to me is not a huge reach. I never had him at the bottom of the second round. I had him, near the top at the worst middle part of the second round. So I think that the Cowboys did what they had to do, and I think they just might have gotten the gym, Boss Cowboy. They just may have gotten the gym, and I'm gonna give my rationale about that as soon as you cut on this film.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of show a little bit of what I do every year. Okay.
Yeah.
So every year during the draft season, let me make this bigger. I keep up on my own with the CBS grades, my grades, right? And where a guy was picked. So CBS had him as the 46th best guy. He was drafted at 24.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I
Mm-hmm.
see why some people will say he was a reach, right? When you look
Mm-hmm.
at, you know, where he was picked based on where CBS ranked him. But you also talked about the other side of it, which was what was left, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So when you talk about what's left, right? And this is something else I think going on before we get into his film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is just about left guard.
No. No, no. And see, I'm gonna get into that in the film, but I'm just gonna say
Let's
no
talk
right
about it
now.
now. Let's just talk about it, and then we will get into the film because I know you got to go.
No, so listen, man. This kid is a guy that is young, and I'm gonna reiterate this. He's young. He's only 21 years old. He's a red shirt sophomore. Okay. All right. He's 330 pounds. He's 6'5", right? 5040. He 50240. So he doesn't even have his grown man body yet. He don't have his full grown man body yet. He's gonna get his full grown man body somewhere around 25 to 26. All right. He's already strong. He's already quick. And there's a big difference, and I'm giving away a little bit of my content, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this now, and I'm gonna come back and double down on it when we see this film. There's a big difference between bad feet and bad footwork.
Hmm.
There's a big difference between bad feet and bad footwork. It's different. So I think the Cowboys think that they done got them a little Jew, a little next Tyron Smith type guy that could start for them for the next 10 years. The long play with this guy is not at guard. The long play with this kid is a tackle. He may
That's what
start at
I'm
guard,
thinking, OC,
but
dog.
the long play with him, I'm telling you, the Cowboys think they slick. But see, you ain't getting one past the OC because I saw what you did years ago with Tyron Smith. I'm seeing what you're doing right now with this kid, coincidentally, who last name is Smith, same initials, T. Smith. Isn't that odd? So here's the deal. They drafted Tyron Smith out of USC when Tyron Smith was 290 pounds. He was a pup. He was about 6'7", 6'8", right? And he was 20 years old. He was 20 years old when the Cowboys drafted him. He was young, just like this kid is young. And what did they do? They coached him up. They ran him out there. They gave him some help initially. They dealt with the ups and downs. And then this guy matured and developed into a perennial Pro Bowler. And what I'm going to say is that this young man has the same keyword potential.
Yeah. See, because this is the thing, and I'm just being all the way honest, okay? I don't think we should be the type of Cowboy fans where you can't do nothing for us.
Yoga fire! Yoga flame!
Because we've been crying, we need to find Tyron Smith's replacement. He's always injured.
Yoga fire!
Yep.
And then they get the fifth best tackle. Oh, we don't want him.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Me and the OC know this was not the best player available. We do know that. All right. So we never said that this was the best player. This was a needs pick. But this is not just about left guard. Don't fool yourself. Are you ready to get into the film, big dog?
We got to, bro. Time is of the essence.
All right, what you want to do first? Do you want to do the passing or the running? Because this gonna be you, big dog. I'm gonna sit back and just chill and let you work.
Let's start with the run game first. That's gonna be fun. Let's start with the run game first.
All right, we go. Okay, hold on. Oh, I thought I had it pulled up. Let me get it. I gotta go get it.
If you don't, we'll start with the pass.
Nah, let me go get the run, bro. Because I want you to do what you want to do.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm flexible. I'm ready to talk about run or pass. We can actually end with the run. You got the pass ready? Let's go with the pass. Let's go with the pass. That's fine. Let's go with the pass.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, because I'm ready. I'm ready to win.
Let's get it. All right, so we got the OC on the pass. Just a little bit of the intro, and there it is.
All right, so let's look at my man versus my alma mater, University of Houston Cougars. So he has a stand-up 7 technique, and he catches them a little bit, right? This is the part that you don't like. All right, he's a heel clicker. Look at the inside foot. Inside foot, he opens. So after one kick, he's opening his shoulders. That's a no-no. All right, that's a no-no. And so because he's opening his shoulders, he's giving what we call a soft edge, right? You're looking at the inside foot, but he's a real good jump setter. So he's jump setting the guy. He covers him up on that particular play. So
explain
he's really
jump set. Before let me pause and explain, because I know you go talk that nuance. I want to slow you down a little bit. Explain jump set.
So jump set is basically saying that I'm quicker than you and that I'm not going to take a traditional set and just step back the way I normally should. I'm going to slide laterally out, in this case, to his left. I'm going to slide and jump on top of you and just clamp you down. I'm going to stop you from generating any upfield momentum at all. It's called a jump set or a quick set. That's what it's called.
Here you go.
All right. So continue.
Yep.
All right. So here he is. And good. Now he gives up chest there, and that's the thing about him leverage, right? Now he gets the block done, right? But the guy's in his chest because he misses with his hands, and that's the theme that you don't like. That's one of the two things that you don't like about him right now, is that he's wild with his hands. That's the reason for the holding penalties, all right? He's wild with his hands, and he carries his hands low, right? And so you saw on that particular play, again, the guy redirects inside, he redirects inside. So he does a really good job redirecting himself inside, right? Because this guy stands up, he's like a 5 technique, and this guy rips underneath. Now that's a soft edge. Notice with the NFL defensive end, that may be a sack because of the fact that he turns his shoulders after one kick. He needs to get 2 kicks in the ground, kick, and then play ball and be ready to turn. All right, so now, again, inside out move, but he buries the guy, right? So not the ideal set, but he buries the guy. And that's the thing that you notice is really impressive about this guy, is that even with questionable technique in terms of his footwork, his hand placement, he still rarely get beat. Like even that he runs the guy past the quarterback. He does his job, but I don't like the way he carries his hand. He needs to get his hands up close around his waist, not below his waist, and get a punch off and run the guy past the quarterback. Look at his feet here. Notice he takes a 45, and so on that particular play, he actually gets 2 kicks in the ground. And so as we watch this film, if Boss Cowboy carries this into the fourth quarter, you'll see him actually get 2 quick kicks back. When he gets 2 kicks back in the ground, he's lethal because he just rides you past the quarterback. He hits you with those hands. Even if he misses right there, he sticks the guy, and then he throws him on the ground. Look at that. Just beasting guys. And that's what I love about him. That's the great part about him. He's trying to finish everybody. This guy is trying to finish everybody, run or pass. If he gets you in a compromising position, Tyler Smith is trying to knock you down and throw you on the ground. All right, now he sticks him with the hand, get on the ground, boy. He just throws him on the ground. So extremely physical, extremely strong at the point of attack, extremely violent, right? But again, look at him up at the top of the screen. He's laid off the ball here. I don't like that. He gets beat, and it's a soft edge because of the fact that he gets 1 kick in the ground and he completely opens his hips, right? He needs to get 2 kicks in the ground, and that way he'll be square to ride somebody past the quarterback. Look him at the top of the screen here again, and you'll see the same consistent theme, right? Now, again, he does a great job reacting to the counter move, but I don't like the lunge. I don't like him reaching when he's dealing with speed at times. Sometimes he reaches, right? He will reach a little bit at you out of the stance, and I don't like the reaching. I want him to sit back and let the pass rusher come to him. However, you see, and I'm just picking apart his game, he sits back on the game. That was good patience. He didn't overkick. So he was anticipating a game, and he just set up, and we didn't go to the angle. Don't worry about it. Okay, cool. So you'll see him on that. Just take his time and be patient. Let's look at this one. Yeah, that's the game. And he did a good job. He did his job. He watched the guy inside. The guard next to him has to bump down and take the looper, right? He stops the penetrator, and the guard has to take the looper. So notice he's here. He pops up, 45-degree angle, and that's when he got 2 kicks in the ground. That particular play, I wish you had the other angle of that, Boss Cowboy. That's a good one. That's a really good rep by him, but that's okay. He gets 2 kicks in the ground, and he just completely widens the defender out. Here, again, the guy gets a little bit of leverage, but because he's so long and big, he just rides the guy by. So those are the type of things. Okay, this is a great angle. Love this angle. All right, so look at his feet here. Look at his feet. Look at the inside foot 1, and he opens. That's the thing that you don't want to see. But again, with the error in his technique in terms of his kick slide, he's still completely engulfing guys. So even with that 1 kick and opening up his hips and turn, that's not going to serve him well in the NFL level because the guys are just too good. Now, he drops down inside. He stops the penetrator on that particular play. So he did a great job. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He's reading it, right? These guys are moving. because they can't really beat him physically. So again, he has a reach and he just swallows the guy up. But I don't like him reaching with his hands because he can get slapped and ripped on the second level. So those are the technical things that he has to clean up on the second level. He has to clean up the consistency of his kick slide step, right? And he has to deal with how he carries his hands. Notice when he's kicking out of his stance, his hands are so low, and that's exposing his chest, and that's going to leave him susceptible to some unnecessary bull rush pressure dealing at the second level. However, I'm saying all that, and this is what I'm going to say about it. Even with all that, look at the job he's doing. Even with all the technical things that I'm pointing out, and that's the thing that I really want people to see, and that's the thing that jumps off the screen to me as I watch game after game after game. This is a good game because you'll see consistent themes. Even if you watch other games, you'll see the same type of stuff. But even with lunging, sometimes feet not exactly where they need to be, he's still, for the most part, dominating his competition. He graded out the first 6 games of the season at over 92%. The last 6, that's the first 6 games of the season. The second half 6 games of the season, Boss Cowboy, he graded out at almost 95%.
I'm gonna switch to the running game real quick.
Switch to the running game.
Yeah. So I just want to show what you were saying though. In 2021, if you look at his CBS accolades, he was 93.9 on run blocking grade. It was the best ever by ACC tackle. So a lot of people are focusing on his penalties, but there's also some pluses about him as well, to your point, OC. You know what I mean? And the OC didn't know that I had that queued up. So we going to his running game right now. You got it, dog.
Yeah, and so the thing that now this is the thing that you absolutely this is the thing that you fall in love with him about. Right here, man, stepping down, double teaming, finishing guys. He's a complete road grader. He's on this guy's back. He's knocking them down. He's knocking everybody down next to him. He's like a force of nature running the game. He's extremely dominant, extremely violent, runs his feet very well, great balance, great leverage, coming off the football. He's just what I call just a tremendous drive blocker. This kid, he moves bodies. Look at him, trying to throw him on the ground. He's moving, just slapping him around and calling him Susan, man. This
he
dude
looked like
tremendous.
a good ideal guard to me, dog.
Yeah, listen, and I'm going to get to that in a second. So initially, boom, right there, I mean, posting up, it's called posting him up. It's like a draw block. He's posting him up. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. So running off of the football, he does just a fantastic job. The thing that you have to develop with him, going back and again, stepping down, positioning, cutting off his guy, hitting another guy. So, yeah, just extremely physical at the point. I think that initially he probably does play guard. Initially, he may play guard. So, all right, so look at this here. If you look at him, I like his pad level in the run game. And he a good. I mean, there he gives us some inside leverage. It was no consequence because it was a dead play. But let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right. So left tackle, and the thing that you see is that when he gets his hands on people, he is a guy that's trying to finish you. He is knocking you, and that was a fumble, but he's trying to knock his guy on the ground. He's trying to punish you and basically just knock you all around the football field. And so that's the constant theme consistently that you'll see with him. Again, the reason for the holding penalties is really, and I'm going to say something a lot of people haven't pointed out, now his hands are inside there, and he does a good job at still on the edge, is I think some of this is his coach's fault, Boss Cowboy. Because there's no way a guy that's big and that talented that you're not telling him to draw his elbows down, right? All he has to do, that was a great play. All he has to do is draw his and knock the guy down on the ground. All he has to do, Boss Cowboy, is tuck his elbows down and inside. And I just think that whoever was coaching him, no offense, I hope I don't offend anybody, but they did a disservice at not really drilling him and putting him in the repetition situation during practice, right, to where he got that aspect of his game down. Because that would eliminate the holding penalties. That would eliminate a lot of people getting in his chest, even on the passing game. That would eliminate a lot of the negatives that you see on this game. The second thing that I believe he got a tremendous disservice done to him in terms of how he was coached at a college level is that nobody ever really taught him, based upon what you see, to work off of his inside foot and to get 2 kick steps in the ground, right, and sat down and get his hands by his chest and get ready to play ball. right? And those are basic fundamentals. But again, he's running. Look at this. He's running this guy. That guy's running away from him. He's like, oh, please let me go. He's running away from that guy because he knows that if he stays engaged, Tyler Smith is that guy. If you stay engaged with him, he's going to run you into the ground most of the time. Anybody that Tyler Smith, from a running perspective, if you stay engaged with him like this kid tries to do, okay, he held him. Okay, that was good. The dude got off, so Tyler held him on that. That's a rare occurrence of him not dominating dude. But for the most part, if you stay engaged with him, man, this guy's going to get you on the ground. So let's take a look at him here. Man, they all over the back of this dude. They just, that was a great down block. Good drop block, good down block. He's doing his job. He's clearing space. So, to me, boss, yeah, easily he's a guard. I think what he needs to do, I think he has the physical capability and the foot quickness to be able to play tackle. I really do. I really, really do. Guard is easy. I think that if they can, and this is saying that they believe that they can deal with his technique, right? Because the Cowboys studied this film. The Cowboys saw this, Boss Cowboy. They saw the same thing that me and you are both looking at. So this is to say, Philman and the staff believe that, okay, this kid is raw. This kid has a lot of potential, and he's raw, right? He's not polished like a Neal or like some of the other guys in terms of his technique, right? He's not polished. Right, and he did his job. I mean, the dude kind of stood him up a little bit, but however, he did what he was supposed to do in terms of sealing him to the inside.